Hey guys, welcome back to the 31 Days of Halloween. I am Luke the Goon. Today is day 17, and I watched another Fest movie. This is Blood Fest. This is a movie that was made by Rooster Teeth. I never heard of this movie, really, until I was just kind of looking through Amazon Prime, and I saw Blood Fest, and I was like, it was available, I think, because I got the, when I watched Hellfest, I watched it through Showtime, and this was also on their Showtime thing. So it's kind of funny that both of those Fest movies were on there. And this film is a little bit similar to that movie, actually, in that it also takes place in... this one's not really like a fun house movie, but it's like this kind of like horror movie festival, I guess, where they have kind of like haunted areas. It's never really clearly explained what Bloodfest is, other than it's kind of like a gathering of, it's almost like a convention. Like they have a fake horror movie in this universe called Arbor Day, and there's like actors from that movie in it, and things like that. And this kid really wants to go. Well, let me start at the beginning. In the beginning of the movie, a little kid is watching a horror film with his mother, and they're kind of enjoying themselves, having a good time, and then a killer comes into the house, ends up murdering his mother, and then his father comes in and shoots the killer, and then the story follows that kid when he grows up, and his father blames horror movies because the person that killed his wife is a horror movie fan, so he blames horror movies for all of it. And so his son, though, grows up liking horror movies because he enjoyed watching them with his mother. And so he's got his whole room is decked out with movie posters and all kinds of things. And he really wants to go to this Blood Fest. His father forbids it, and he ends up finding a way to get in anyway. And as soon as they get into Blood Fest, there's like this huge thing, and this kind of like a ringmaster type character starts saying, welcome to Bloodfest, let's bring back the scares and horror films and things like that. And all of a sudden, this everybody just goes white. Everything just goes bananas. And what ends up happening is that it's not just a fun house. They're trying to kill everyone. And this kind of ringmaster guy is kind of like the director of the film, and he wants to get all this footage, and they've got to find a way out. The kid and his friends got to find a way to get out of there. And so that's really what it is, There's not a whole lot more to it. There's a couple twists that happen in the movie. They're probably a little bit, well, I was going to say predictable, but once you know the route it's going down, once you get some of the twists, you start to kind of see the road that it's going down. I was a little bored throughout, I will say that. There's a lot going on. It's just kind of, I guess it's just because I've seen it all before, because it's a little bit like, Cabin in the Woods and The Rise of Leslie Vernon, and that they kind of riff on slasher films and horror movies, and that's also part of the idea for them to survive, is that they're like, oh, we got to follow the horror movie rules, virgin, don't stay in one place too long, stick together, things like that. And so, to me, they didn't do anything clever with those rules. They didn't do anything where I was like, okay, that's good. There's only like really kind of one part, I think, in the movie where they do something clever with the rules to figure out a way how to get out of something that they're in trouble with. And they even have some stuff with like Saw, zombie movies. They had like clowns in it, all kinds of stuff. Special effects were okay, not bad. Some of the stuff, I will say, some of the CG did look kind of screwy. The practical stuff was good, though. Overall, like, maybe like a 2.5. It wasn't bad, I just wasn't... I guess if you haven't seen Rise of Leslie Vernon or Cabin in the Woods, some of those movies that do a better job than this film, you might think that this movie is pretty clever. But because I've seen all these movies and I've seen, tons of slashers and everything, for me, it didn't add up for me. So that was Bloodfest by Rooster Teeth. I don't know what I'm watching for tomorrow. I haven't lined anything up yet. I've actually been watching a lot of the show Haunted on Netflix. It's some of the stories I think are fake. I'll get into that some other time. But subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.